I like royal icing, but I think meringue is fancier. Edible pearls, that's too fancy. Sugar made decorations, chocolate made decorations. Edible paint, and let's do fresh flowers. And that's everything. Extra fancy, huh? That works for me. You know me, I like fancy. Awesome, we've got ourselves a cake plan. The baker's words made it official. You picked your wedding cake. You couldn't help being especially thrilled about that. The wedding cake was such a focal part of the party. I'm wondering how much of these choices we're actually going to see visually. It's cool that we're actually picking all of these things. I'd be really impressed. I guess what I'm trying to say is, with all of these options that we're making, I'd be a little disappointed if we didn't actually get to see the cake, or I got to see like the food, or got to see like the outfits. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the outfits, but it would be featured in photographs and shared among your family and friends. The joy of the day distilled into a beautiful confection. Just thinking about it left you breathless. You glanced at Cove out of the corner of your eye, wondering if he was feeling as excited as you were. He was leaning forward in his seat, a rapt expression on his face. As Xavier continued speaking, you pulled yourself back to the present. I'll take all the info you've given us today and use it to think up the finished design. I'll keep you in the loop and how it's going. Though before you go, are you wanting any other dessert on the side? Maybe cupcakes or cookies, or we could do something else if there's anything special in your mind, specific in your mind. We would have cupcakes. We would have cookies. Ice cream? See, I'm known as the ice cream guy, so that would be really fitting. Our cinnamon rolls cinnamon rolls. I mean, people come to wedding and birthday parties and they have ice cream. How many times have you gotten to a wedding and gotten cinnamon rolls? I'm sure people have done it. I'm sure it's been done. I've never been to a wedding that served cinnamon rolls, but if I did go to a wedding that served cinnamon rolls, I would be like going nuts. Do you make fudge with crepes? Crepes is also cool. Our wedding pretzel's a thing. Yeah, I think the cake will be enough. Cinnamon rolls are awesome, but I think crepes are very fancy, and we have a history of crepes. We have it only because we have a history of crepes, so I'm gonna say with crepes be an option. If I can do crepes and cinnamon rolls, because Cove is a bit of a cinnamon roll, I would do that. But we'll see. Would crepes be an option? Cove nodded eagerly, thrilled with your suggestion. It would be so good if we could have those. And what I like about crepes, as much as I love cinnamon rolls, what I love about crepes is they're customizable per person. People can like pick and choose. I'm thinking there's gonna be a crepe station, you know, with different fillings, and people can pick and choose what they want in their crepe. Which, I mean, there are very few people that I know don't like cinnamon rolls. I know very few people, but if people were able to have a customizable dessert in addition to the cake, because the cake they don't actually get to choose anything in the cake, we just give it to them like, here's your cake, you get 2 flavors you could pick from. But this one they can actually personalize to their own personal tastes, and I think that's going to be smart. We should have done that. We should have done a crepe station at my wedding. Maybe on my birthday, one of my birthdays, I'll do that. It would be so good if you could have those. Unexpected, but not impossible. We can make you some crepes. Cove beamed with delight. The 3 of you walked over the details of your additional dessert. Xavier skillfully guided you through it all to determine everything from your preferences for flavor and texture to the quantity you needed. Eventually, it was all set up. Xavier reviewed their notes in the binder. So, you're getting a 5-tier cake with an unusual kind of feel that's multi-flavored, and you're also getting some crepes along with it. Your heart fluttered as you imagined the cake once again, you and Cove standing over it and ready to take the first cut. The side dessert beautifully complemented the cake, completing the picture perfectly. Yeah, those are our desserts. Cove bounced in his chair again and his hands clasped against the edge of the table. His excitement was as palpable as your own. This is going to be so good. Xavier grinned, pleased to see the 2 of you so happy. Thanks again for coming to us for your wedding. We'll make the desserts of your dreams. You worked through the outstanding specifics of your order with Xavier, who was determined to get everything right for your big day and had an answer ready for everything you could throw at them. Once the final arrangements had been confirmed, you left the bakery, feeling confident, confidant, that your wedding cake was going to be just wonderful. Cove naturally shared your optimism completely. As per usual, you, Cove, and Baxter met up on another day for another session. A few lighthearted words were engaged as Baxter watched the 2 of you amusedly. Cove's mood was still shining, and Baxter could tell.
So?
I take it the cake designing went well. Like a child who was excited to show their latest work of crayons art to their teacher, Cove shared the news with pure happiness. We're getting a really big one. I am so pleased to hear that. What shall we be doing today? I want to settle on our clothes for the day. Wonderful. He clapped his hands together at the thought. I can imagine you both look incredible. So, I recalled that the two of you are intending to keep the outfits nice and secret for the special day. Does that mean that you're each shopping alone, or are you thinking about extending the invitation to someone else? I want my dad to come. It sounds like something a best man should do, right? Ooh, can I bring my best man? Can I spend some time with my best man? I mean, I know my mom would want to come too, but she doesn't live close, so, you know. Cove shrugged weakly. Baxter nodded with a faint quirk of humor in his expression. It'll be nice for Mom to see it on her actual wedding day, though.
Of course.
Of course. You felt for Cove, familiar with the issue yourself. You could think of a few geographically unavailable people it would have been nice to bring with you as well. Teleporters would make life so much easier. Maybe you could send your mom pictures. That'll for sure be a fun surprise for her, you nodded. Teleporters would make life so much easier. Yeah, it would be a lot more convenient. Even though it would have been nice for Cove to share the experience with his mom, you were sure that no matter what Cove wore, Kyra would still be just as excited to see him on the big day. And it was great that he'd still be able to bring his dad. Tell him I said hi. For your own shopping adventure, you pictured how you'd wanted the experience to go. Then you directed your attention back at Baxter, finally ready to answer his questions. I'll be going on my own. I'm gonna go with my mom's. Why not? Let's go with my mom's. I didn't put them in my wedding party. The least I could do is go shopping with them for my clothes. You welcomed your mom's help on this shopping adventure. The trip was far less likely to end up with you scrutinizing yourself in a mirror when trying on the 13th outfit for 15 minutes, trying to judge it and the previous dozen options yourself. With that decided, Baxter rubbed his hands together in satisfaction. Perfect. But before you run off on that next outing, it would be best to choose where you're going. Do you have a preference on which store or stores you'd like to visit? There are two excellent local shops that should be able to set you both up with whatever you need. One is primarily a dress boutique, but it also has romper and skirt options. The accessory selection is also divine. There is also a shop that focuses on suits, pantsuits, skirt suits. They have it. They also have all the relevant editions that you'd likely want.
I guess.
I'm gonna wear a suit, so I guess I'll need to go to the suit shop.
What do you
And
think?
you, Hark? I want to get my outfit at the boutique. I'm interested in the suit shop. I want to visit both for sure.
I get.
A dress boutique, romper, skirt options.
What
No,
do you
I'm
think?
interested in the suit shop. Let's just make sure we go at different times. Otherwise, the whole plan of keeping things secret might get foiled if we run into each other there. Smart, Cove. Suddenly, you had a very clear picture in your head of Cove stumbling into you like some comedy skit, and the two of you failing to not catch glimpses of the other's choices. Baxter snorted, probably imagining something similar. He nodded, agreeing with Cove.
I can do that.
I can help you schedule. It shouldn't be an issue. Baxter turned to his computer screen and started clicking. He showed you the shop's available hours and opened a calendar program to discuss times that would work. Cove pondered the choice and let you have first pick while he was deciding. Baxter took a note of both of your decisions. Cove would be first, and you would go after him. There would be no chances of overlap. Cove sighed, relieved that it was all taken care of so easily.
Lovely.
Lovely, you make this so easy for me. Baxter sounded pleased as he reached over for his notebook on the nearby desk. He clicked his pen and jotted something down. I'll leave the rest up to you, and I'll see you both during the next session. Good luck. His smile was curled but bright. He waved you both off. Thanks. Cove's voice was nervous as he started to shuffle out. You got up following him. Bye. See you next time, Baxter. Thank you. We appreciate you making this easy for us too. Toodaloo, you waved goodbye. We appreciate you making this easy for us too. Time passed from your meeting with your planner, and soon both you and Cove were going out for the big shopping trip. You temporarily said goodbye to your husband. You hugged Cove and he squeezed you back with a big grin on his face. Have fun, Hark. I will. I'll try. You have fun yourself. Cove nodded, bouncing on the balls of his feet. You could tell he was slightly nervous, but still looking forward to the rest of the day. Your car beeped when you unlocked it, and you climbed in the driver's seat. Cove waved you off when you left. You swung by the neighborhood and picked up your parents along the way. Mom and Ma joked about who called shotgun first and who would spread out in the back seat. It was a pleasant drive full of light conversation. For example, you learned that there was a rumor going around Sunset Bird about finally fixing up the old park. Ma doubted it was going to happen, since apparently it had been going around the grapevine for a while. Mom didn't think there would be smoke without a fire. But that's getting off topic. What are you hoping to find today, Hark? You mentioned a few of your ideas, and your parents listened eagerly, chattering about possible ideas for the rest of the drive. Up ahead was a very proper, fancy building. You could tell it was going to be really nice. The door was heavy when you pushed it open. You entered the formal shop and took it all in. The floors were slick and shiny. If you ran your shoe over it just right, a squeak would echo through the space. I love those kind of places. It was unsurprisingly well lit, showing off all the strikingly prim wares available. Each rack of clothing had its own dedicated spotlights. You shivered a little at the temperature, but it was appropriate for the heavy formal wear customers would be trying on while in the location. And I love the smell. I love the smell of places like this. This will do nicely. Phew, that's a relief. I don't want to know what would have happened if this place wasn't up to snuff. Ma rolled her eyes at Mom's teasing and grinned. You were glad that they approved of the place. A man in a pressed gray suit and a green spotted bow tie approached. He brought a hand up to his chest. Hello, I'm Thal, and I work as an assistant here. How can I help you? I'm Hark. I came to look for an outfit for my wedding. Of course. I'd be thrilled to work together to find something. Thal took a step up closer to you. I like that name, Thal. What do you want to wear in terms of the basic pieces? A shirt and pants. A shirt and skirt. Definitely a shirt and pants. Roger that. Do you have colors in mind? For the top, I'd like white, off-white, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, pink, black, brown, gold, silver, bronze, rainbow. I wore orange in my wedding. Orange. For the bottom, white, off-white, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, pink, black, brown, gold, silver, bronze, rainbow. Gold might be too much. We already have a golden cake. Orange top with gold is... yeah, I think I'm gonna do white. I can do that. What are you thinking about with the style? You hesitated, not sure what your options even were. Tell you what, I'll list some words, and you can pick what matches your vision best. You nodded and listened to him speak, picking the descriptions you liked one after another as he recited them. Traditional, modern, in between. Modern. Not in between. Modern. Shiny cloth, matte cloth, textured cloth. I got a shiny personality. Gotta go shiny. Long sleeved, short sleeved, in between. Ooh. In between, that sounds modern to me. In between. Unbuttoned jacket, button jacket, no jacket. I'm a button jacket kind of guy. Well, let's do unbuttoned jacket with a button vest. Tie, bow tie, ascot, cravat, bolo tie, no tie. Ooh, nice. I'm not sure what a bolo tie is. I have to look that up. What is a bolo tie? I know what an ascot is, and I think I know what a cravat is, but I just want to take a look. Cool. I'm glad that I took the time to look this up, because I learned something new. I learned a bunch of things new. So a bolo tie, I've definitely seen these before. I just didn't know what it was called. So it's what I normally have seen on people from Texas, like the cowboy kind of thing, where they have these, it's not really a tie, like a traditional tie that you would know, but it's almost like it's like two ropes that kind of go down, but they like meet in the center, it goes down. It's hard to describe. I'll try to remember to put a picture if I can, but you all could Google it too if you wanted. But yeah, it's sort of like a cowboy's tie. An ascot is sort of like a scarf, that you wear around your neck, so it's not really like a tie or a bow tie. And a cravat is sort of like a cross between a traditional long tie and an ascot, but it's like poofy. It's almost colonial. It's like what the colonials would wear, which is really cool. We actually wore cravats at our wedding. So I will say cravat because I just love the look of a cravat. It's so, like, unique. And, I mean, I love bow ties. I love my ties. I love my dope bow ties. But if I'm doing something at a wedding, I want to do something unique that I normally don't wear. I like it. Just let me measure you, and I'll bring the parts out for you. Thal took out a measuring tape from inside his own jacket and took your measurements. I'll be right back. Thal reappeared in no time at all, with your described outfit draped over his arm. He lifted it up and let the full length of it flow out for you to admire. You could definitely say it had a stylish feel to it.
You're fantastic.
Fantastic! It looks like Lonnie designed it herself just for you.
Oh, nice.
I agree. It's lovely. You've got my eye, Hark. This is perfect. It's good, but can I change part of it? Actually, can I start from the beginning? No, this is perfect. I'm not indecisive when it comes to things like this. I know, I see the options, I know exactly what I want, and I go for it. I'm not indecisive when it comes to things like this. You're welcome to put it on. Can I bring you anything else? We have plenty of accessories to pair with your set. Cufflinks? I like cufflinks. A crown? That's too much. That's a little bit over the top. OTT. A shawl? No. A necklace? No. Not with a tie. Not with a cravat. A train? Not with a suit. Not for me, at least. A bracelet? No. I'm not a big jewelry person. No bracelet, no earrings. I mean, I have a jacket. Cufflinks. A corsage? No, that's not a corsage. An anklet? No, I don't have any. Cufflinks. And that's everything. You and the assistant went back and forth over what styles and colors you wanted when accessorizing. You went to grab your accessories while you changed. There were changing rooms in the back, and you closed the polished wood door behind you when you entered. You got into the perfect pressed shirt and pants. The pieces laid on you nicely, not overly large or too uncomfortably tight. You checked yourself over before exiting the room. The view from the mirror was breathtaking. You truly were about to have a wedding. You pushed the solid door aside and stepped back to the main floor of the shop. You paused in front of another well-lit mirror and beamed. Thal returned to your side and helped accessorize you. The look was finished. The assistant grinned, satisfied. In the mirror, the day you were planning for looked back at you. You in the shirt and pants you'd wear to the ceremony. It felt real. You were so excited. You were nervous. You were content. I am so excited, and I just can't hide it. You felt like jumping for joy and struggled not to run around telling everyone in the shop how lucky you were to be marrying Cove. You nodded at your reflection and then spun around to face the others. Ma hugged around Mom from the side.
Oh.
It's amazing, honey. Mom took a moment to recover from being bowled over from the unexpected hug, but rallied. You've never looked better, kiddo. You twisted around, looking back at the mirror. It was the right choice. With your perfect outfit chosen, the only things left were details. You had a few more measurements taken, a tape measure recording your every inch, so that the shirt and pants would fit you exactly. Payment and pickup for the outfit was also ironed out. Ironed out. You would receive the tailored clothing in time for the wedding. When outside, you had to resist the urge to instantly call Cove. He needed his time to get a suit before you checked in. Oh yeah, this parking lot. You kept yourself busy with other errands until you were certain he would be finished. Then you selected Cove's name in your favorites and tapped the call button. He answered right away. His voice was chirpy over the phone, eager to talk to you.
Fun!
Hey, Hark. Hi. How did it go? It went great. Another thing to check off the list.
I'm so glad.
That's so good. I'm glad it worked out. He sounded sweet, and a small part of you melted. Talking to him made you even happier than you had been for successfully finding your outfit. How were things for you? I did it too. Me and Dad kind of struggled, but it worked out. I'm pretty sure it's all good. You should like it. Can't wait. I can't wait to see how handsome. I can't wait to see how well he cleans up. I can't wait for you to see me what I found. I can't wait for us to see each other. Why am I not surprised that this was a challenge for you? I'm sure your efforts will pay off. I can't wait for us to see each other. It's going to be amazing. This is a surprise I can wait for. Suddenly, the days before the wedding seemed even longer. Now you would be in suspense. Should I say sorry now if I cry when I see you? I know it's going to be perfect. But I should probably let you go. We can see each other in person once we get back.
I love you.
Goodbye for a little bit, Hark. I love you. Love you too. Bye, Cove. You ended the call gleefully and tucked the phone away. Then you pulled out your keys and hurried off to your husband. You also gave your appreciation to your moms for not interrupting your conversation with Cove. They had been able to sense you'd be missing him and needed the time. You parked in the familiar street to drop off your mom's. With the car parked in front of your old house, you said your goodbyes.
Thanks.
Thanks for letting us come along. Hopefully we didn't cramp your style too much. I'm sure we'll see you soon. You thanked them for joining you and waved until they disappeared into the house. In the car, with the scenery flying past you, you reflected on the day. You thought back to what you had put together and felt your heart flutter. The image was crystal clear. You could see yourself in it, and the view of your wedding day had become that much more defined in your mind. Right on time, you entered Baxter's office for your next meetup. He was waiting for you. There for you. Hello. Were you both able to find pieces you're happy with? I think so. It's gonna be wonderful. Yeah, as it should be. What shall we be doing today? I mean, Baxter, there's no other option. Why are you even asking? The only thing we haven't done yet is the dance sessions.
Exciting.
Oh, you want to get started on that? Exciting. There's nothing else left, Baxter. Baxter gestured down on the other door in the space, rolling his wrists to point with his whole hand in an extravagant gesture. There's a room here in the building you can use for dance lessons. I'll need to schedule it, of course. We need to be certain that there wouldn't be any conflicts. If you could wait a moment, please. He pulled out his phone and swiped his finger a few times, his brow furrowed as he checked some sort of calendar. He tapped something with a flourish and looked up with a grin. Cove watched with open antsiness. Cove and I can attend lessons in the afternoon. Then, Hark, we can have the evening. I believe I can pencil us in as early as tomorrow for the first sessions. Happily, there is enough vacancy in the event room for individual sessions. One-on-one lessons are ideal for this. Every person is at their own level and will need guidance with different aspects. That makes sense. I can get everything arranged today if it works for you. Cove nodded seriously. There was no hesitation coming from his corner, despite his jitteriness. Let's do it. You shot Cove and Baxter a pleased thumbs up. Yeah, that's good. Baxter placed his phone down to clasp his hands together. His enthusiasm was hard to miss. Excellent. I'll make it happen. And he did. Baxter made the necessary arrangements right afterwards. He asked for your input occasionally and finalized the times. He planned each detail out exactly. Any specific idea that Cove or you had was jotted down and added to the considerations. What kind of music are you thinking of? Would you rather go with something fast or something slow? It doesn't have to be ballroom staples. I'm more varied than that. A recent wedding I helped with classical music for the first half and then early 2010s dance music for the last half. There is no wrong answer to this. Dance music. Dance party music. I mean, we can have a couple of slow dances sprinkled in, but for the most part, 98% of the song should be fast dance music. Cove shrugged and left space for you to answer. I'd like classical music. I would want love songs to dance to. I'd enjoy theatrical music. Can we have pop music? Could we keep to traditional wedding music? I want alternative music. I would love to have rock music. I like country songs. My preference would be jazz. It'd be cool to have throwbacks from when we were growing up. Ooh, I like that. I think it'd be fun to use video game soundtracks. That would be cool too. But I don't know if I would necessarily do that for a wedding. I would love to have throwbacks from when we were growing up. There were a lot of nostalgic songs that were already coming to your mind. Baxter nodded approvingly. Cove was even more supportive of your recommendation. Cool, I think I can guess some of the songs you're hoping for.
Absolutely.
Of course. And speaking of, let's chat about particular tracks. After continuing to discuss music selections for a while, your office time with Baxter finished and it was time to leave for the day. Goodbyes were said, knowing that the separation wouldn't last long. Tomorrow wasn't far. The hours passed by quickly. It felt like a blink by the time the session rolled around. A bit after lunch, you drove Cove over to his first solo dance lesson with Baxter. He was definitely nervous on the drive there. Despite his usual anxiousness, he insisted that he wanted to do the lesson on his own. He would show you his moves after he practiced. You wished Cove luck and dropped him off, hoping he had a good time. You drove off as soon as he disappeared into the building. The plan was to run errands until it was time to pick him back up. You had heard about a new store that had opened recently. It was close enough that you decided to check it out and see if they had anything worth getting. Unfortunately, the store didn't have a good selection compared to other options, but you stalled in the snack section. Yeah, that sounds like me. You debated buying something in order to not leave empty-handed. You bought chips, meh. Chocolate bar, meh. You bought a box of sugary fruit snacks, I like fruit snacks. You brought a box of healthy fruit snacks, yeah, healthy fruit snacks. You brought pre-portioned packages of cheese and jerky, I mean, that's good. You left the store without buying anything at all. I mean, I would have gone for a smoothie, personally. I love getting me some smoothies. Or crepes. I'd get a box of healthy fruit snacks. You grabbed the box that professed that it was high in vitamins. It looked tasty. Another store that you knew would have what you needed was minutes away. A short drive later and you were on your way to finishing your errands. It was nice to keep busy while waiting for Cove. When the time came, you drove the car up to the front of the side building, stopping where Cove stood on the sidewalk. Cove greeted you with a smile and hopped into the car. Well, hopefully that means it went well. He closed the door behind him and buckled his seatbelt with a click. How'd it go? Cove shifted in his seat while rubbing the back of his neck. It was awkward, as you probably guessed, but not that bad. He brightened as he thought back. You listened to the vivacity in his voice, even as you focused on driving through the parking lot. Baxter is kind of a good guy, not a bad teacher. Baxter's kicking butt and taking names throughout this whole DLC. You pulled out from in front of the building and started making your way through the first intersection. What did you talk about with all your time together? That's great, you nodded quietly. What did you talk about with all your time together? To yourself, you admitted you were really curious. From what you could remember of that summer years ago, Cove and Baxter never spent time with just each other. Yeah, and so I'm really curious how this went. Cove hummed and thought. We mostly just focused on the dance lesson. I think we also talked about some general wedding stuff. He asked me about the material of napkins I liked. Nothing personal. He didn't bring up anything from back before, when he wasn't our wedding planner. He paused for a moment, then continued. It had to have been on purpose. I guess he didn't forget how to get comfortable when people acted too friendly too fast. You heard Cove tap the car door with his fingertips as you made a right turn. One thing I will say about Baxter is he can read a room pretty well. I wouldn't have minded talking a little more now, so we kind of made progress in more than just my coordination. A smile tugged at your lips. That was good to hear. Yeah, because I was fine with Baxter. We're not BFFs, but even back then I liked him enough. You finally pulled into a parking space and parked the car. You couldn't linger in the car too long given your own lesson. It was time to go. He looked at the grocery bag in the back seat with the snack you had bought. You offered some to Cove. Yeah. If you're hungry, feel free to snack. He probably needed some fuel after dancing for so long. You pointed over at the food and Cove's eyes widened at the sight. That's perfect. I'll see you later. Bye. I love you. I love you too. Cove leaned over and gave you a quick kiss. You beamed back at him. You left Cove with a car and walked with a bounce in your step to meet up with your wedding planner turned dance instructor. The doors of the office building let you in after a firm yank. The air was cooler than what was outside. Good, that's what I'm going to need when I'm going to be dancing up a storm. I do dance pretty hard to the point that I do sweat pretty hard too. You followed Baxter's directions from yesterday to navigate the wide halls. A left past the fire extinguisher, and then a right at the first set of doors. You found a set of thick glass doors. You peered into a large event room. It had to be the place. You entered the space and noticed the towers of chairs on the sides of the room. It was easy to imagine the room filled with a crowd, but for now it had all been cleared for your private class. You walked across the empty tile floor to the counter at the back where Baxter was. He raised his head and waved you over, setting aside some notes he had been reading. Teaching 2 dance lessons back to back. Good on you, Baxter. With a paper and an elegant fountain pen left on the counter, he strode forward and met you in the middle of the large room.
Hello.
Welcome, Hark. I'm glad you could make it. Hey! You waved at him and smiled warmly. I hope you've been well. I'm fantastic. I'm ready to boogie. I'm fine, but I hope you're in tip-top shape for this. I've been worse. You okayed with your hand wordlessly. I'm ready to boogie. You pantomimed a few dance moves enthusiastically. Baxter chuckled. You've come to the right place. Baxter pulled a remote from his jacket pocket and clicked a button. A speaker system you hadn't noticed before crackled to life. Familiar music filled the room. He must have been busy to already have the songs that you had talked about yesterday ready. He tucked the remote back into his pocket, and then Baxter turned his attention on you. He offered you his hand.
Well.
I'll lead. At first. We can switch later if you prefer. His gesture felt grandly formal. He'd had enough performance practice to really feel as if he'd stepped out of a fairy tale ball. You took his hand, ready to get started. His fingers lingered around yours, and he put his other arms across your back. You relaxed into the proper form for the dance, muscle memory taking over. Baxter did not attempt to direct you, just remaining present as a reliable partner. You followed the music, timing your steps to the rhythm until you found yourself relaxing into it. Practicing like this was helping to smooth out any creases in your flow might have had before. Baxter suddenly smirked, the twitch of his lips getting your attention immediately.
You know.
Oh, I recall that it wasn't just dance lessons I was available for, was it? I also offered to give you rides whenever you needed them, didn't I? Hopefully I haven't let you down with that.